What a night to be a Boston fan. Celtics go up 1-0. Bruins take a commanding 3-1 lead in the series against the Hurricanes. I want to talk about the Celtics first. If you only care about the Bruins, go to this here. So yeah, the Celtics were kind of scaring me a little bit because throughout the game, I just kept thinking, like, man, they should really be up by more than, 5. It felt like they should be up by like 20. Lots and lots of missed layups, open shots for guys that normally make those open shots. There were one too many defensive breakdowns. I mean, at the end of the third quarter, the Sixers were still shooting something crazy like 55%. And I was like, you're probably going to lose if your opponent is shooting that well. So I was getting a little bit nervous, but stop me if you heard this one before. Tatum and Brown put the team on their back, and the Celtics came away with a W. Tatum finished with 32, 13 boards, and an assist on 10 for 21 shooting, and Jaylen Brown finished with 29 points, 6 boards, 4 assists on 9 for 16 shooting. All in all, I thought the Celtics did pretty good on Joel Embiid. He got off to a hot start. In the first, he played really well. He was hitting some tough shots. There was good defense. It was just better offense. And then for the last 3 quarters, he was pretty much neutralized. He made some plays, but, I think the Celtics did a pretty good job guarding him. There were some timely double teams, and I'd like to see more of that because, and I'm not trying to, rag on Joel Embiid. He's an awesome player. But if he has a weakness, it's his ball security and decision making. He dribbles the ball like a tortoise. I mean, there are like seconds in between his dribbles. It's just like really it seems like he's dribbling in slow motion, and it's just because he's really big, and he doesn't really need to ball handle that much. And that led to some steals from the double teams. If you time it right, you can come in and kind of poke it loose or swat it away or whatever. So I'd like to see more of that. He's primarily, in the post a lot of the time. So if he gets the ball down there, I want to see 2 guys kind of collapsing in on him, just so it's not easy for him to have his way with whoever's guarding him, because one-on-one in the post most likely isn't going to bode well for the Celtics. Another observation, Robert Williams needs to play more. It just seems like whenever he's on the floor, good things happen. He brings good energy. The effort is there. He's a great rebounder. I think he could be huge on the offensive glass. He sets good screens. He's good. I like the kid, and I want to see him out there. So yeah, Time Lord does good things, and I want to see him out on the floor, especially if, we're dealing with an injury to Gordon Hayward. Very unfortunate. It came out about an hour ago that he's going to be out for 4 weeks. I know he's also expecting a child, and he was planning on leaving the bubble for that. So, depending on when his wife gives birth, I don't know, maybe he'll be back for the Eastern Conference Finals, assuming the Celtics can make it that far. But this is tough, man. I said that I don't think the Celtics can win if they're not fully healthy. But one game into the playoffs and we're already not. So I hope I'm wrong. But this is a huge blow. I mean, we have 4 guys that can go off for 25, 30 points on any given night. And Hayward was one of them. Now that that's gone, that's a huge blow, especially when their bench depth isn't the greatest. They don't get the most scoring off their bench, so they really rely on the starters. Without Gordon out there, everything else is harder, and you're gonna need guys to step up. Guys like Wanamaker, Marcus Smart, Time Lord if he's gonna play more minutes. Those guys need to come in and give you good, productive minutes. That's the only way we have a chance at winning Banner 18. It's got to be next man up, and they got to perform. And along with, stellar play from Kemba, Tatum, Brown. But I'm expecting that from those guys. Those are our 3 best players. Those are the stars, so to speak. So you expect that from them. But the X factor here is going to be, the role players. Guys like Smart, Daniel Tice, Wanamaker, Time Lord. If they're able to go out there and perform at a really high level, then yeah, the Celtics still have a really good shot. But the Hayward thing really sucks. The poor guy, he got to Boston and all of a sudden he can't stay healthy. But before that, he was pretty much a workhorse. He barely missed any games before he came to Boston. So he just had a really long string of bad luck. And I hope he's able to, have a speedy recovery and come back, because I know he really wants to go far in the playoffs, and it must suck to immediately go out once it starts. Like, is it too much to ask to just have a healthy playoff run? I mean, Brown also took a big knee from Embiid in the game too, and he seems to be fine. But I just it's game one, and we're already having pretty significant injuries. It's like, what the fuck, man? Like, we can't just have a playoff at full strength and see what we can do. There always is something. It's just really frustrating. But yeah, it was good to come away with the win. Celtics go up 1-0. On to the Bruins talk. Quickly on game 3. All I'm going to say about Rask is, it sucks. The timing sucks. I wish he was still here. He's one of the best goalies in the league, and it sucks we're not going to have him. That being said, I cannot in good faith blame or bash somebody who's clearly going through some mental health stuff. And the bottom line is, if his head wasn't fully in it, which it clearly wasn't, it's counterproductive for him to be out there. So he did the right thing by speaking up and leaving, because if he says nothing, then he's hurting his team. And you can say he's hurting his team by leaving, but if he's really not there mentally and he's still putting himself out there, that's a liability. So I'm glad that he did what's best for him, and I hope whatever's going on, he can work through. And I hope he hasn't played his last game as a Bruin either, because that would really suck. Anyways, I still thought in game 3 the Bruins were really bad at finishing their chances. They did come away with the win. Halak was awesome, other than the big cupcake he threw right in front of his net. That was pretty boneheaded, but other than that, pretty good. Solid win. Last night, Halak was not very good. Honestly, I didn't like any of the goals he let in. I thought they were all pretty soft, especially the second one. You got to have that. He saw it the whole way. He knew where the shot was going, and he just missed it. So the Bruins were down 2-0 in the third, and I was just pissed, because, again, they just weren't finishing their chances. And they had a lot. There were so many chances, and they had yet to kind of have a game where they were good at executing. And, going into the third, I felt the same way. And I was like, it might be too late now. I was just in a really bad mood. The Celtics had me up here, and the Bruins were just knocking me down. And then the floodgates opened. The Bruins scored 4 goals in 6 minutes. They were all of a sudden firing on all cylinders, and all of a sudden, every single chance they get, they were finishing. And I was like, oh my God, I've been waiting for this the whole series. What the heck? This is amazing. I was screaming, pretty much. I was unfortunately watching by myself, so I was screaming to myself, but I didn't give a fuck. I was having a blast, and watching that was awesome. That was probably the best period the Bruins have played all season. I mean, not only did they score 4 goals in 6 minutes, but they also didn't allow a shot on goal until there were 2 minutes left in the game. The shots were 15-0 at the 2-minute point in the third period. That's incredible. I mean, not only are you peppering poor James Reimer, that's another thing too. Poor James Reimer. I know what his nightmares look like. It's the Boston Bruins in the third period. Thrown back to, the Toronto comeback, and then, that last night wasn't as significant as that, because that was a game 7. But still, I mean, the poor guy, I honestly feel bad for him. I really do. Throughout the first couple games, I was like, okay, they're getting really good chances. They're not potting him here. They're cracking the dam. They are cracking the dam. And sooner or later, the dam is going to burst open. The third period last night, that's when it burst open. We saw it. I knew it was going to come at some point in this series, because there were just so many, the numbers game. They were due, and they got it, and it was amazing to watch. And now they're up 3-1 in the series. Pretty commanding lead, so I feel good about it. I think the McAvoy hit was pretty huge. You could call that the turning point for sure. It was just energy. Massive hit. My jaw dropped. It really did. And I was like, oh my God. And it's unfortunate that Stahl, was hurt. But it was a clean hockey hit. There was nothing wrong with the hit. He just got rocked. So, I hope he's okay. I hope he's able to come back and play tomorrow. But the hit was perfectly legal, and it was awesome. But yeah, that kind of encapsulated what the energy felt like for that third period. And it was a special to watch. I mean, I was in such a good mood. Bruins and Celtics both come away with a W. I slept fucking amazing. It was awesome. Really also encouraging they've been able to do this without Pasta. The Hurricanes are no joke. They've been playing hard. And the Bruins without their best scorer, to be able to come away with 2 out of 3, that's pretty impressive. That being said, no fucking around tomorrow. I want to close it out. I want to win this gentleman's sweep, on to the next round, rest up, whatever. I wanted to get it over with. I don't want to mess around here because the Canes are good. And I don't want to give them any kind of pulse or hope. But yeah, awesome night for Boston sports. Except for the Red Sox, but whatever. Comment below, let me know what you thought of the Bruins or Celtics. As always, like and subscribe, and yeah,